Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jabulani Sinyazo of the Rustenburg Herald, and we are here with the Rustenburg Herald News Bulletin, and it's going to be different today because today we're going to be preaching a lot. Marisa is going to start with her preaching of the front page. Just listen to her.
Yes, preaching, but in a good manner, from my side at least. So on the front page and on page 28, we tackle the hot topic of the matric preliminary exams that have commenced. This was on Monday. So as 'n voormalige onderwyser, weet ek die hartjies bons en die maagies maak vlinders. And these guys are stressed and worried and whatever else you can think of. And we just want to say to them that we are behind them as a community, as parents, as schools in the community. Ons dink aan julle, ons glo in julle. Julle moet vasbyt.
Yeah, just hold on.
Yeah.
We've all been there, and once you pass that route, you will be in a good position to do something with your life. Now, my preaching, I am going to preach because this week I did a lot of articles, a lot of hard news articles or news that is coming from the police here in Rustenburg. But majority of them, they are based on gender-based violence. That's where I'm going to preach. I would like to preach. I don't know how to preach, but I would like to preach. We've got the first one, where a guy got a 10-year sentence for assault. Now this guy, he assaulted the ex-girlfriend with bare fists, and then after that with a steel pole, and then after that with a spade. It boggles our mind because we've got this gender-based violence and femicide campaigns that are taking place all over South Africa.
And still currently in Women's Month.
And we are currently in Women's
Yeah.
Month. We are not happy to be reporting about this. I know we are after news, but it's not really nice. Like I said, it's very graphic what you can see on page 3 of this week's edition of the Rustenburg Herald. Let me not go there, and let me allow Maris to continue.
On the topic of women, but once again on a more positive side from me. So, Groot Marico, during the this weekend past, het die vlugtende vrou, donknipper, monument onthul die afgelope naweek. En dit is ter herdenking van die vroue wat tydens die Anglo-Boereoorlog besondere dapperheid getoon het weens die omstandighede waarin hulle was. Een van die groot fondasies van hulle dapperheid en van hulle deursettingsvermoë was natuurlik hulle geloof. En soos ons sê, hierdie monument is nou opgerig om hulle te herdenk, dat ons nie vergeet van ons geskiedenis nie, maak nie saak van ons taal of kultuur nie. History is what makes us, history is what forms us, and history is what should guide us into a brighter future. So lees gerus op bladsy 4 die volledige storie en gaan maak 'n draai as jy voel dat die Afrikaner bloed in jou are vloei.
And yes, we have it. We know about the story of the discovery, gruesome discovery of 5 bodies there at Lefaraghatli. They discovered bodies at an open mine shaft. Not Lefaraghatli, it's Tlhakanyane. They are similar and they are close to each other.
Whatever you say, I believe you.
Exactly. So the police in Sun City have launched an investigation into what they've discovered this past weekend about 5 bodies, which they suspect, but there's no proof yet, they suspect that it could be illegal miners. So that story is also on page 3 of this week's edition of the Rustenburg Herald.
Alright, so then I'm going to end off with a story, and I cannot believe that the words are going to come out of my mouth, but I met a cabinet minister last week and I was sorely impressed.
And I'm really not laughing.
So, yes, we read stories in the national press of corruption and incompetency and so on and so forth. And of course, there are those that have to be held accountable. But also, there's always a person behind the public persona.
Yeah.
So, Minister of Sports, Gayton McKenzie, made a turn in our town, very hush-hush, so not many people knew, but as journalists from the Rustenburg Herald, we knew and we were invited. So read all about his visit to Zinjaville and Karlin Park and the handover he did for those 2 local schools. Like I said, very charismatic, very friendly, very approachable, and it was just eye-opening to see a different side, or at least the personal side of the minister that we see in the press. Not saying that he is good or bad at his job, this is just my personal encounter with him, that I found him quite affable. So yes, like I say, read the story, it's on our back page, and be surprised.
Yes, and I'm going to conclude with this interesting story here that took place at Manamba Kotem village, Now the people there at Manamakoten, close to Mokwase, they've been concerned about a shop in Mokwase that sells guns, toy guns. Now these toy guns, they look very real. So obviously if you got a toy gun that looks real, you can do anything with it. You can go and try and rob people, you can, but
it can incite violence,
exactly.
Yes.
But the police went there and they told them, well, they cannot do anything about that because of the definition of what a firearm is. A firearm has to ignite in the barrel and then it has to shoot a projectile. A toy gun doesn't do that. So despite the people having concerns about toy guns, the police cannot actually do anything about it. The story is on page 5, and then I'm going to conclude with a SASSA story that's going to confuse a lot of SASSA beneficiaries. We actually tried to make it easier because SASSA says it's going to be introducing a biometric enrollment for beneficiaries. I don't know what that is, but the newspaper knows what that is. Go to page 5, and on that note, I will say goodbye.
Ja, van my kant af ook, dit was lekker om weer met julle te gesels. Ons is volgende week weer hier, selfde tyd, selfde plek, en goed gaan en sterk staan tot en met dan.